Hi, I'm Dwayne from Travel by the Book TV, where we explore literary travel. Today we are here on a chilly day in Pittsburgh. And even though it's a chilly day, it's still a beautiful day in the neighborhood because we're here to go on the Mr. Rogers tour to explore all things Mr. Rogers. We're going to start here in Pittsburgh and we'll end up in his hometown of Latrobe. In this episode, we will celebrate one of Pittsburgh's favorite sons, Mr. Rogers. We'll visit the Heinz History Center's amazing Mr. Rogers display. We'll go to Latrobe, Mr. Rogers' hometown, and explore various sites, including his childhood home and the Fred M. Rogers Center at St. Vincent College. Here we have the trolley. I can't believe it's the actual trolley. We'll eat a banana split where they were first invented. That's awesome. And finally, we'll pay our respects to Mr. Rogers' final resting place. My first stop is at what's called the Tribute to Children. It's a big outside sculpture right across the street from the Steelers Stadium that celebrates Mr. Rogers with this unique giant statue.
And I like your ins and outsides. Everybody's fancy. Everybody's fancy.
Featuring continual music by Mr. Rogers. All right, our first stop on our tour of Mr. Rogers' neighborhood is at the Heinz History Center right here in Pittsburgh. This great big building behind me has a really cool exhibit about Mr. Rogers, but also a great bunch of information about local Western Pennsylvania history, as well as a Pittsburgh Sports Museum. So what's not to love?
Legendary numbers, teams, and hallowed arenas. The Green Ruby, the Wishful Power, Arnold's Army.
I have learned well that a man has a right to defend his castle with his life, even unto the taking of life. Sir, my home is my castle. In that castle are none but my wife and my children, as free as the angels of heaven.
This museum is really a must-see if you're in Pittsburgh. The collection is vast and the displays are interesting. It's really worth taking a few hours to just really get into it. Now, this Mr. Rogers display, however, is exceptional. These are actual sets that they have. We have the castle. We have the tree where X the Owl lived. We have the actual sort of door and bench and stuff that Mr. Rogers sat on in each episode. And some really interesting and insightful displays. Even if you can't get down to Latrobe, where we're going to now, you should definitely make a stop here at the Heinz History Center to visit Mr. Rogers and to see these awesome sets. Now it's time to leave Pittsburgh and head to Mr. Rogers' hometown, Latrobe, Pennsylvania. I'm in Latrobe, Pennsylvania, about an hour southeast of Pittsburgh. And this is the birthplace of Fred Rogers. You notice on the sign behind me that they have a logo with a trolley featured on the sign itself. But Latrobe isn't just known for being the birthplace of Mr. Rogers. It also has some unique sports history. Arnold Palmer was raised here. In fact, he was a classmate of Mr. Rogers at Latrobe High School. It also is the site of the very first professional football game back in the 1880s. And at the St. Vincent College, where we'll visit soon, the Pittsburgh Steelers have their summer training camp. Okay, this church here is a great side trip while you're in Latrobe, just to make note of it. This is the First Presbyterian Church in Latrobe, and it's where Fred Rogers would have attended. As you know, he was very religious. In fact, he was an ordained minister, Presbyterian minister, and this is where he would have attended throughout his youth. Now, Rogers Park is not named for Fred Rogers. It's named for James Rogers, his father. But there's a wonderful little memorial here, as well as this nice plaque about Mr. Rogers. We're gonna go check it out. Well, Mr. Rogers, it's been a beautiful day in the neighborhood in spite the weather. Mr. Rogers grew up here in Latrobe at 737 Weldon Street. His father was a prominent industrialist in the city, and his mother came from another wealthy family. Their home is a recognized historical landmark here in Pennsylvania. And it's a private residence, so whenever we are visiting private residences, we always ask that you are respectful and that you don't bother the owners. When you think of Mr. Rogers, you think of somebody who really understands childhood and families and the importance of parenting. You can imagine the sort of family upbringing that he must have had here at this home. And whenever we study any of the people that we focus on, their home, where they grew up, feels like a significant part of all of our childhood. That's where we receive our formative years, good or bad. You know, many of the people we look at didn't have happy childhoods and you know, had real hard times. But Mr. Rogers, you would, though I'm sure there was sadness and hard times, you know, but they must have also been filled with a lot of happy times here, and that would have happened right here at this home. Now we're headed to St. Vincent College. St. Vincent College is just kind of on the outskirts of Latrobe, and they have there the Fred M. Rogers Center, which is a collection of his personal archives, as well as a wonderful exhibit that I'm really looking forward to of about his life and work. All right, here we are.
So we are in the Fred M. Rogers Center building on the campus of St. Vincent College in Latrobe, Pennsylvania. And I am the archivist here at the Fred Rogers Institute. And Fred himself had designated this space to be at St. Vincent. He wanted a place for people studying children's media, child psychology, early childhood education to come and be able to study his work. The building is open from Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 4:30, and people can come here to the second floor of the Rogers Center building, and we have the exhibit here which has photographs of Fred throughout his life. We start in his early childhood years when he was growing up in Latrobe, and then we go through his high school and college years, and the production of the neighborhood and what Fred did outside of Mr. Rogers' neighborhood.
Fred Rogers was the son of James Rogers and Nancy McFeely Rogers, and both of their families had a long history in Latrobe, and they were a very prominent, wealthy family. James Rogers was a local industrialist, and they gave a lot of money to the community. And to this day, the Rogers McFeely Foundation supports a lot of programs and institutes in Latrobe. Here are items from the McFeely Brick Company, which is a local company here in Latrobe, and where the name Mr. McFeely comes from.
And the reason Fred wanted this center to be at St. Vincent College is because Fred grew up in Latrobe, so we are in his hometown, and he was always friends, and throughout the history of his family were always friends with the arch-abbots of St. Vincent College. Even though Fred was a Presbyterian minister, he felt very close to the Catholic Benedictine campus here and the monks that resided here. He spent a lot of time on campus, and he actually hoped that when he retired from the neighborhood that he would be able to come here and teach. He wanted to teach in the early childhood education program.
Here's some record albums. I'm sure I had some of these. I'm sure I want all of them. Mr. Rogers on vinyl. Isaac Perlman, Yo-Yo Ma, Harlem Spiritual Assembly. Ling Yi Ballet.
That was great.
That's beautiful.
Hi, Fred. Welcome. Nice to see
Like,
you.
you know, my television neighbor,
Hi.
Mariana
Nice to meet
Cherkowski.
you. And please meet our beautiful ballerina, Yingli.
So glad to meet
Nice to
you.
meet
It was just lovely what you were doing.
Thank you.
Going all around like this, you know. And then there was this one place you went like that and like that. How you do that?
Let's try it. Put them together. And plie. That's it. Plie. And plie. That's it. Let's go.
These are sweaters knitted by his grandmother. Here we have the trolley. Can't believe it's the actual trolley. The actual Daniel's clock tower. Between February 1968 and August 2001, 895 episodes of The Neighborhood were produced. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood was the first children's television program to talk about subjects like death, divorce, and disabilities. This is an episode I remember. This is like the PBS cinematic universe here when Big Bird visited Mr. Rogers. Now at the Pittsburgh History Center, we saw a few of the puppets, but they were sort of the supporting cast, like French Daniel, whatever his name is, and the platypuses. But here we have the main stars. X the Owl, Lady Elaine Fairchild, Daniel, Prince Tuesday, I think it was Prince Tuesday, King Friday, and Queen Celeste. You know who's missing is Meow Meow Pussycat. She's neither here nor at the other exhibit. I wonder whatever happened to her. if you're a Fred Rogers fan, I highly recommend a trip to Western Pennsylvania and to Latrobe to see this incredible exhibit.
So if someone is just is more of a fan and just generally interested, what I recommend is that maybe they start in the exhibit and there's something that kind of jumps out at them, like, oh, I'd love to learn more about this or that, whether it be a part of Fred's life or something that Fred did, or just like a theme from his work, then I can help them identify, a stack of materials that would be appropriate for them, because there is so much in the archive. It's helpful to be able to narrow things down, but also we have, I think, items that would be interesting to anyone.
Here's a Mr. Rogers themed T-Rex. Not sure I get it at all. Not only is Latrobe famous for Mr. Rogers, but also it's a home of the very first banana split. Even though it's snowing, I cannot be in the place where the very first banana split was created without enjoying a banana split. So we're gonna find one. Okay, I'm at Valley Dairy. I asked the Chamber of Commerce where the best place for a banana split was, and the guy there said that would be Valley Dairy, the home of the banana split. So I'm here. I decided I should get dinner before I got my banana split. And I saw on the menu the grilled Rachel. Since my wife Rachel can't be with me today, I figured a grilled Rachel is what I have to eat for lunch. That was great. Insider look.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. That's awesome. Okay, so this beautiful concoction here, banana split, in Latrobe, where the banana split was invented. It's one good banana split. I'm going to finish this, and then we're going to head over to Unity Cemetery to pay our final respects to Mr. Rogers at the family mausoleum. Unfortunately, but not unexpectedly, the bad weather has turned into an outright blizzard. All right, I'm here at the mausoleum where Mr. Rogers is buried. You can see his headstone just inside the window here. Fred McFeely Rogers, 1928 to 2003. Oh my gosh. All right, here's the mausoleum where Mr. Rogers is buried. It's on a beautiful hill overlooking this pretty large cemetery. If you look in here, just through this window here, you can see his headstone, his name, and the dates. In order to pay our respects, I've brought, we've got this great neighbor, maybe you've seen in other episodes, who will ask occasionally to paint just little rocks to leave behind. And so we have these different rocks here of the Mr. Rogers characters. We have King Friday, Mrs. What's her name? Lady Elaine Fairchild, Henrietta Pussycat, X the Owl, and Daniel the Lion. And I'm just going to place them right here and pay my respects to one of my childhood heroes, a man I've admired all my life, and I wish him well, wherever he may be. I have no question where he is. Maybe one day I'll get to meet him. These rocks were painted by our neighbor Lacey Pulley. It was very nice to paint them for us. She does a really great job. Whew. Well, we're ending our tour just in time. Oh, there's a major blizzard outside. So, fortunately I got to film the show, but now I have to drive back to Pittsburgh. Well, thanks for watching. Please subscribe. This is Dwayne from Travel by the Book TV, and remember, every day is special by you just being the way you are. It's such a good feeling to know you're alive. It's such a happy feeling, that feeling inside, and when you wake up ready to say, I think I'll make a snappy new day. It's such a good feeling, a very good feeling. That feeling you know that I'll be back when the day is through. And I'll have new YouTube Travel by the Book TV videos for you. And you'll have things you'll want to talk about. I will too. Goodbye, everybody.